Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Guys, today we've got another one from Just Pearly Things. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
Do you guys think that there should be child support? Like, if it was up to you, would you make child support illegal, or do you think it has its place? I'll just go around and just say...
As in for both parties, like just as a institution?
Yeah,
like
as an
anybody
institution.
should be able to claim child support?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It depends.
It depends. So in some situations, yes.
In some situations, yes.
So is it legal or illegal? I don't hear that.
Well, child support's legal now. And I'm asking, do you think it should be?
Yeah.
It should be legal.
It depends, innit? So I'm gonna wait and hear, innit?
Okay,
it
depends.
Yes, but it needs to be the way it needs to be calculated. It needs to be fair. Like if she's earning a lot of money, then there needs to be some adjustment for that.
Okay.
I say yes, but it's controversial.
You know, I was just thinking though, because if they've got equal custody of the child, then no. Because when the youth's with me, I'll pay. When it's with you, you'll pay, and that's it, innit? That would just make sense.
Yeah.
I think that.
But if I'm paying you money and then I'm taking my child and spending more money when I have my child, then to me it don't really make sense, innit? Like I come from a home where my dad paid for everything. Like even when my mum and dad weren't together and they didn't live in the same house, my dad always bought my school uniform, bought my shoes, he bought everything. So really and truly, if he never paid child support or whatever, he wouldn't need to because he bought everything. Like,
what about if there's a large disparity of income where one parent affording a child a lifestyle of a private school, certain luxuries, and then the other parent can't keep up with that, and then you find that kid is now feeling the type of way.
I think the dad would still be paying for the private school though.
No. Sorry, I'm saying when he's with the dad, the lifestyle they're living is different
to when he's with
But
the
why does he have to fund her lifestyle?
Yeah.
Because the separation. It's the child's
maybe she
lifestyle.
should figure out how to work it out.
Yeah.
You could see it as opportunity, rich dad, poor dad in real life. You go to
I don't see the need for child support, to be honest, in like most cases.
Go on, elaborate.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. You can get a job. The fuck? Why do you need his money?
100.
Like what on earth? Why are you entitled to a man's money?
I think in the modern day and age,
if you're, especially if you chose to leave, like most of the time women leave. Why do you deserve his money? You're gonna leave and then rob a man?
Yeah.
Interesting points being made so far. Just to set some context for you guys, in the majority of states, and I only know this, guys, because I've released these series of divorce stories. Go check them out by Lenley Richter, I believe it is. They're on my channel. But I've learned a lot just listening to different attorneys on TikTok, actually. And what I found out is that in most states, the person who has custody of the child the most pays the least child support. So the income that's calculated for child support is different from like alimony. So if somebody was, let's say, making more money, let's say a man is making more money than the wife, but he had the kids majority of the time, she, as the woman, would be expected to pay more child support. And that might differ in other countries, but that's generally how it works in the States. Let's get back into the video.
If you knew you couldn't get my money, would you have left? That's what you have to ask them. You would have stayed. That's why man say it's cheaper to keep her in that.
And it goes back to no consequence. So I can marry a man and leave him, so make a poor decision for the family and take half his shit. What the fuck?
But I guess we're thinking selfishly here because we should be thinking about the child's interest in here, not the actual, because if we're like, okay, you need to get a job, don't get his money, but the child isn't affected in that.
So
it's not the woman or the man.
Maybe she should think about that before she leaves him.
I'm not favoring any one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the child because the child is affected.
Yeah. So to me, if you took away child support, it would take away the incentive for women to leave because now they're rewarded for leaving.
Or the incentive just to have kids.
But that depends on each case though, because some cases the guy leaves.
20%.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't go through proportions. I wouldn't go through data. I'm just talking about each and different societies.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is that I don't think he should just leave for no reason too. I think people are really not careful nowadays when it comes to like having children.
But also, how do you know that the money is solely being used for the child? That's
You
the
don't,
problem.
and that's a lot of the reason why a lot of men don't want to pay the money, bro. Because
Exactly.
they're like,
Good
hold
question.
on,
I understand
like man, are
that.
paying
That's a
$9
good
grand a
question.
month child support. It's like, yo, what kind of food you eating in the house?
Especially when she has another man in the house, but you're still paying. Like that's
No,
just
yeah,
Sorry,
that's
what
that's-
were you
not
gonna
running.
say? Go ahead.
But that's your child at the end of the day. Like, it's your child. You wouldn't ask another man to pay for the child.
Right. So
Facts.
so you should get a job and try to take care of her.
Of course, no. I'm not
him.
not favoring any one of them. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that because the child is affected here, we should be thinking about what's better for the child.
Yeah.
If she is earning more than him, I wouldn't say that the guy should give child support. I would say she should be doing that. She should be taking care of the. I'm not favoring any one of them. And I know it's wrong to ask men for child support if she left or if she has done it by herself, and vice versa. If he left, she shouldn't be like taking full responsibility of the child because it was his mistake too. You know.
I want to go off what the chick is saying right now who's talking, because I agree with her. It should be about the child. But the problem is this. It's not about the child when you look at the way the court systems work, especially here in the States, right? The truth is there is nothing set up. There is no requirement for women to show what they're spending that money on. And the question is why? I mean, if you really want to see if the child is being taken care of, you would think that they would set something in place where women could say, okay, this is the money I got, and I spent that money on this for the kid and that for the kid and that for the kid. Some women argue that, oh, that's money that's being refunded to money that was spent on that child. Either way, there still should be some type of way, a system that required women to keep record and show proof that they're spending that money on the child, you would think would be set up. And you would think if it's about the child, we want to see proof of that. But we know it's not about the child, right? It's about the whole system. It's about making money. That's what it's about. Because we can't seriously have this conversation and all honestly agree that that money that's being spent is 100% or even 60% or even half of it actually spent on the child. We know that's not the case, man. Stop the cap. We don't like that coffee.
This coffee smells like shit.
Let's get back into it.
It's just like a matter of accountability, as you said. It's that way.
Don't you think it's accountability for choosing the right partner?
Exactly. Oh, definitely.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if you take away child support, people have to face the consequences for their actions immediately. So if you're going to pick a reckless husband that's going to leave you for a younger model in 10 years, you'll face the consequence.
100%.
If you're going to leave him and take half, like you can't take half anymore. So if you want to leave, you have to really think about it.
Of course.
To me, this would put the child's best interests at heart, because
That's
there
the
are
whole
more
point.
consequences for leaving, and a child is at risk if there's one parent in the home.
That's why I'm saying that we're thinking selfishly here, because we don't think about the child. We're thinking about individual interest.
Well, I'm thinking about the child because in my point of view, if you take away child support, more families would stay together because there's less of an incentive to leave, and you're going to have less women trying to catch a check by getting a baby off of a man.
I believe if a person is selfish, it's regardless though. If it's a man or
So
women.
when-
If it's
when you say women-
you think women would steal condoms from Drake? No, I'm serious. Because remember, when we see celebrities, that's the extreme. But that means in society, women are doing this just at a smaller rate. So there are girls trying to catch kids from rich guys all the time.
I understand that.
And because they know about child support.
Yeah, I know. Of course, there are people who would use that for their own advantage. I'm just saying here, if we actually think
There are
about
people.
child's interest, then there should be child support because they're the only ones affected here.
So how does that benefit the child when you don't know if the mother is going to spend it on the child?
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. It's still selfish because if she is asking for child support and we're not even seeing what's her financial status, it's selfish. It's unfair on the guy because we're asking for something extra from him, right?
But
it should be equal somehow because if she's earning more than him, she should be taking care of the child and vice versa.
So if it's 50-50 custody, why is she entitled to his money if he makes more?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
No,
No,
but
I'm always going to say that this is what's going to happen. It should have measures in place so that we know the money's being spent on the child.
Yeah,
But yes,
Yeah, exactly.
that
There
is
should be
happening.
so it's not. The fault is not on the consequences. The fault is maybe we need to keep a check on that.
But it is, because if there were consequences to it, you wouldn't do it. So if
But I thought
if
But
you
we
wouldn't
know
get
we
child
know
support,
the
you wouldn't divorce.
consequences,
But
right?
couldn't the man just spend the money on the child and not get the
Precisely.
government involved? Like, why does he need the
So my
government?
dad
A lot of men wouldn't do that.
Because
I can only
exactly.
talk from my community. A lot of men won't do that.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Bro,
from
my
society
dad
as
did.
well.
My dad paid for everything, blood.
But I'm sure growing up in the block, you know a bag of man that don't know their dad.
Yeah, but that's
not
different.
about-
But that's
exactly.
different.
That's
But
not
that's
bag of
different if you don't know your dad, innit? But I'm saying, yeah, like there's men that are involved, want to see their kids, ain't allowed to see their
But this
kids.
is why I say it depends.
You know,
It
like,
dep- that's
and
the
women, and women
One
are
at a time,
taking,
guys. One at a
women
time.
are taking money from them and telling them they can't see their
But
kids,
you have
bro.
to look
I
at
know people.
what behavior does this incentivize? This incentivizes women to pick bad men and know that even if they're shitty dads, they can still get bailed out.
There's a point. Pro has a point there. One thing I was just thinking about is how there's a whole group of women who literally chase after athletes, rappers, top 1% men for the purpose of getting pregnant by these men so that they can improve their own life. Isn't that selfish? If you look at the court systems, they're benefiting from child support. Women are benefiting monetarily from child support. The court systems are benefiting from child support. It's about the money. And who's funding this majority of the time? It's men. Regardless of how things play out, you're going to be held responsible for that kid. You just are. Whereas women have an out. I talked about in another video how they have these drop boxes now where you can literally drop off babies for mothers who are not ready. But you can never not be ready. You always be held accountable. And then there's the topic of abortion, right? A woman can say, "Oh, I'm not ready. I'm just going to have an abortion." But is a man awarded that same freedom to say, "You know what? I'm not ready to take care of this kid, and I'm just not going to do it"? No, you're not. And these are some things to think about. Let's finish up this video.
Yeah,
Because-
it goes back on accountability. Exactly.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying child support takes away accountability from women because even in this example, right, where he has to spend it on the kid, that's saying to the woman, you can pick a shitty partner and you still get bailed
You'll still
out.
be all right.
Yeah, but
But what about the dad?
there's a trade. There's
What
a
do you
trade-off
mean?
for every consequence. Really, what you're debating is being a conservative or being someone who's in support of a more leftist support of the welfare state. Is that not what you're debating? Because there's going to be a trade-off. There's going to be a good and bad that happens to whichever route you take.
Bro,
Is whichever you see as more as the problem.
I'm debating consequences.
Yeah.
That's
Bro.
what I'm talking about, consequences for women. That's the
Yeah,
whole
bro.
part of this conversation.
So
I think
I
you
want
say
to ask
con-
as well,
Go on, bro.
quickly.
Go on,
So
bro.
if a woman falls pregnant, who bears more the responsibility? Is it the man or the woman?
Financially, you're talking
In
about?
general, who bears more the responsibility of that lack of pregnancy, of what comes after?
The woman, obviously, she's the one that's gonna have the pregnancy and give
So
birth.
in that case, if they took away something like child support, wouldn't it be a bigger impetus to make a better decision on who you fall pregnant for?
All right, guys, that's about it. Very interesting conversation. This whole conversation reminds me of some like really shocking things I found out about the court system when it comes to child support that I just didn't know prior to doing my own research. I'll give you guys a couple examples. One that I thought was really shocking that I heard about is, do you know that if you're married to somebody and let's say you have a kid with them and you raise up the kid for like 10 years and your wife decides to divorce you, which is most likely in the time and day that we're living in, that's a fact, but some of you guys don't like that coffee.
Put that coffee down.
And so she leaves you, she can go collect child support from you, not only for the future of that kid till it's like 21, but also for those 10 years, if she can prove that you did not contribute and put yourself on child support, which is why a lot of lawyers actually advise men today to just put yourself on child support. If that's not insane, I don't know what is. That's crazy. Here's another situation. Let's say you and a woman had a baby, right? But you're not married, but you say, you know what? I want to raise up this kid the best that we can. Let's drop a contract ourselves. Let's do this ourselves. Let's not get the courts involved. And you guys raise up their kid. And real stories like this have happened. 15 years down the line, the state can come collect child support from you. And why is that? Well, because you can't just decide between you and your girl that, hey, we're going to draw this thing up ourselves and stick to an agreement. You actually have to go and get a court order that will set the child support to 0 in court. And this is in most states. And now you're on child support and you have to pay that child support. I think laws like the ones I just mentioned and other laws where women aren't required to show what they're actually spending their money on, those are things that could change, that could bring some transparency to this issue. Yeah, a lot in this topic. Hey guys, as always, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this topic. I appreciate you guys for checking out another episode of The Coffee Pod, man. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.